The Malawian High Court, presided over by Chief Resident Magistrate Patrick Chiluga Chewa, last week provided a new twist to the whole extradition process of Prophet Shepherd Bushiri and his wife Mary. He has requested all 10 witnesses to make their way into the Malawian High Court a month from now to testify physically in the ongoing extradition of the Malawian couple who fled South Africa in November last year whilst on bail, following allegations of fraud, theft, and money laundering. The state had wanted witnesses to testify via video conferencing, but the magistrate objected to it and says the argument lacked basis.
It's a court order and it has to be respected, and we'll have to go by the dictates of the order that the court has made. The arrangements have to be made, discussions, international cooperation has to be there, making sure that the order of the court is duly accorded.
The state had submitted that due to logistical and COVID-19 reasons, coupled with the cost of transporting the 10 witnesses to Malawi, the state prayed the court to allow for virtual testimonies.
In South Africa, we're in a third wave at the moment, and the fact that we have the Indian variant as well, that is taking its course. And for that fact, and the fact that the witnesses, for them to come here, a number of them, will really be a situation whereby their conditions, the importation in Malawi, the now and again issue of themselves getting infected. We did put that before the Honorable Court.
However, the magistrate threw out the application and ordered the state to parade the said witnesses physically for their testimonies since the court was sitting physically.
Well, we feel very good. We feel happy. We are happy that the court has agreed with us on all the grounds which we are raising in objection. And in fact, the court has even gone further perhaps to make it clear what it requires, what it wants to be done in this case. And that is exactly what we too want to be done in the case. That is what we have been expecting all along. We have been prepared ourselves for that kind of exercise. We were ready to proceed on the 4th of June for the witnesses to come, cross-examine them. Now that they're saying they should come in July, we're still more than ready to face them when they come to Malawi, assuming they'll manage to come to Malawi.
Now, the state say 10 witnesses will present themselves. Good. Can we have all 10 witnesses present in Malawi in the second week of July?
The witnesses are in South Africa. They are, all of them, their statements are there in the request that was submitted to the Republic of South Africa. The defense has all the documents. The court too has all the documents as to which ones of the witnesses are there and that these witnesses testify to what issues.
Chances are that if 10 witnesses fail to appear, that might be the final nail in the coffin of the whole extradition process, which will be entering into its 7th month. Is this whole extradition process going to go up in smoke after all the verve and drive South African authorities portrayed at the beginning of this whole process?
In terms of the SADC protocol, we're expected to file papers within the next 30 days to then file for the request for the formal extradition. We have set ourselves a time frame with all the law enforcement agencies to file these papers within the next 2 weeks.
Indicated in our statement that we have started the process of extraditing Bushiri back into the country using the SADC protocol of extradition between the neighboring countries, and that process commenced. One of the requirements, is that we need to obtain the warrant of arrest so that it then forms the basis of applying for the extradition. So that process was started over the weekend, and we will be briefing South Africans where the process is. But yes, I confirm that we have started that process of extraditing Bushiri back into our country.
Transport Minister Fikile Mbalula waded into the matter and vowed to find Prophet Bushiri and bring him back to South Africa. It is as clear as daylight that there was not enough research into this extradition process from the start.
Okay, the South African government is relying on the SADC Treaty as the basis for extradition. Now, the SADC Treaty provides that it will only be binding if it has been ratified according to the constitution of the respective states. Now, Malawi, as much as we signed the treaty, we have not domesticated it, meaning Parliament has never passed a law that it should be part of the laws of Malawi.
The defense consequently asked It should have been made clear to the South African taxpayer that an extradition process was not a walk in the park. A legal expert on extradition says the Bushiris might have the last laugh. Could that be true if what is happening is anything to go by?
Reverend Bushiri is a very clever, very well-informed gentleman, because what applies here is the SADC protocol on extradition. And if one looks at it cursorily, one finds provisions, Article 4 in particular, which will prevent Malawi from extraditing Reverend Bushiri, because Reverend Bushiri will probably never receive guarantees of an impartial trial in South Africa. He's invoking Article 4 of the SADC protocol, and it's totally in his rights to do so. So he may have the last laugh. The Malawian government will simply say, well, we can never extradite him. Our hands are tied by the SADC protocol. Whether they are going to be forthcoming or not, time will tell.
The much talked about Bushiri extradition process might end up in smoke if the 10 witnesses are not presented in the Malawian High Court by the second week of July.
In South Africa, I was attending all the courts for almost 3 years. I was going to court and we were being told excuses after excuses. I never had a trial in South Africa for almost 3 years. I appeared in the court several times and witnesses never showed up. So when I hear what they're saying today, that witnesses cannot come, despite the ruling that the magistrate had made on the 29th of March in this year, that the witnesses must come over, according to the law, I was not surprised, not shocked. This also confirms my statement that I've been saying, that what I was passing through in South Africa was persecution, not prosecution. So far, we don't know who the witnesses are. But as I said, that for the past 3 years I was in South Africa, I was going to court together with my wife. And since we came to Malawi, we have never absconded in a court. We have been here, coming here all the times. But the same story, there are no witnesses that are showing up physically to come here. So this is the same thing that we have been saying, that we were passing through persecution in South Africa, and we went through a lot of things, and including death threats and a lot of things, and this confirms to what we have been talking about.
South Africa.